Oh, really?
Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello. Thank you guys for joining in. We're just going to give it a couple minutes to let others join.
If anyone wants to give us a shout about where they're joining us from, you can drop that in the comment section here as we get started.
Hopefully not too much snow and getting freezed in.
Oh, welcome from Atlanta, Georgia. Texas. Oh, hope you're staying safe again. That weather's been crazy.
Michigan. Oh, goodness. You guys are buried.
Perfect. Come join us instead. Hang out with us here. We'll talk about the SkyTC. Oof, chilly. Columbus, Ohio. Welcome.
Someone said cannot hear. Is everyone else able to hear us?
Yeah, let us know if there's any audio issues. Jordan, I can hear you great. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Awesome. Ooh, British Columbia. That's exciting. Welcome, welcome. Omaha. Loganville. Okay, good. All right, Roger can hear us. Let's see. Awesome. Thank you so much, team. Yeah, so Robert, if you have any issues with audio, you can always log off, log back on, see if that reconnects for you. Up Jacksonville, Florida. Hopefully you're at least getting a break from all this weather.
If you're just joining, welcome. We're just going to take another minute just to let a couple more people join in. Canada, Georgia. Hi, guys.
Welcome, everybody. Maybe the better question, Jordan, would be, is anybody seeing the sun today?
Right. Finally, we are. The fog is lifted, so I'm going to get outside.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta.
Sheila's seeing some sun today. All right, good. Enjoy it for all of us, of course. Oh, LA, you're having your typical 65-degree winters.
All right, so I think we can get started now. First of all, I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining in today. My name is Jordan J. Cox. I'm with SkySlope, and what we're going to be talking about is SkyTC and what that can bring to you. While we're going through the webinar, if you have questions, you can go ahead and throw those in the chat, and I will be happy to answer those for you. What SkyTC is, it's a department within SkySlope, and it handles full service white glove transaction management services. And we'll go way more in depth into that for you guys. Also, this session will be recorded, and it's going to be available on LiveYard and YouTube for you guys. And I will be passing this to Kira to get into the details of how this works for you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jordan. So we'll go ahead and dive right in. Yes, that recording will be on StreamYard, or YouTube recording will be available as well. Now, Jordan's going to be answering your questions. So if you do have them, drop them in the comments section there. We'll roll on through during our presentation. Anything that we can address at the end may be a little bit more in depth. we'll address a little bit more out loud. So no worries if your question does not get answered right away. Chances are it's a group of questions that have all come in around the same time that are about the same thing, and we just want to address it out loud. So hang out in the comment section if you do have any questions. We'll be providing you lots of good stuff here. And I'm also going to go ahead, we're going to turn off our cameras when we dive into our content part of today's presentation, just so we can record today's training, provide this back as a resource. Again, you can access those on StreamYard or YouTube. Let's go ahead and dive right in.
Thanks, Kiara.
All right here. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. Now, before we dive in, I do want to acknowledge something up front. We know that 2025 was busy, but for a lot of agents, it wasn't just busy, it was heavy. So you ended up really going through a lot of late nights, paperwork stacking up, compliance stress really sitting on the back of your mind while you're trying to focus on your clients and your growth. So today's going to be a little bit different. Today is not about doing more. We're not asking you to jump in and take on more during your day. 2026, we're changing our mindset. It's about carrying less. So the fastest growing agents this year are not going to be the ones that are hustling harder. I mean, we've been hustling. Instead, these are going to be those who remove friction from their transactions. So here in the next 15 minutes or so, stick with me. I want to walk you through how those top agents are changing the way that they're running transactions and how they're getting that time back without sacrificing control or client experience. So let's get into it a bit here. So we know transactions, sometimes it's not a matter of if, it's when. Now, most deals, they don't fall apart after the offer stage. The excitement's really high, our clients are really in it, but oftentimes our transactions are starting to break down quietly in the middle. So this is going to look a lot like chasing missed documents, those last minute signature requests. You're rolling your eyes because how did I not catch this earlier? So that's going to be silent escrow periods where that excitement's starting to die down. Again, we're really excited our offer was accepted, but our clients are starting to get nervous now that we've been in escrow here for a few weeks. And that's also when compliance stress starts to spike. So we know that that compliance is really going to come into play right before the close. So again, our goal is to kind of maybe ease off some of these roller coaster feelings. So none of this feels dramatic, but it is exhausting. So when the volume increases, these small friction points, they tend to compound fast. Most agents, they don't need better intentions. We all got into real estate because we truly love our clients. We love what we do. However, they don't need better intentions. They need better systems. So now we'll leave that negative away here. We'll jump into a little bit more of the positives, and let's talk more about what top agents are doing differently. Now, top agents, they don't have fewer problems in their transactions. We are all agents. We're all in this industry, but they do have fewer surprises. Now, these are the agents, they're not waiting for issues to show up inside of escrow. They design their process so problems get handled early and quietly. They standardize their transaction flow so that every deal flows through a familiar path. So that consistency is what's going to keep things calm and allowing us to increase that volume. So this is going to give us the option. Agents are going to be front-loading documents and expectations and timelines because they know uncertainty creates stress. Now, not just for themselves, but for their clients as well. And they're very intentional about delegation. Top agents, again, are keeping control of relationships and negotiations, but they delegate the repeatable behind-the-scene work. So this is how they're able to stay focused. They're protecting their time. But top agents, as we know, are still delivering a smooth closing experience. Now let's talk about time, because this is truly where it shows. Again, we're all agents. We're all doing the same thing. We have the same hours of the day. But let's talk about how our top agents, we're really truly spending that time, because this is where it's going to show. Now, every transaction includes document prep and corrections. Every transaction is going to include follow-ups for missing signatures, Following time, each of these transactions is going to include timeline tracking, compliance reviews, and status updates. Individually, these tasks, they don't really seem massive. But we're adding them up together. These easily add up to about 10 plus hours per transaction. So I want you to kind of step into this new mindset with us. Again, 2025 was all about the hustle. Moving into 2026, I want you to ask yourself, rather than can you do this work, I want you to rephrase in your brain and think, should you be doing it as you scale? So it's not can you, but should you? Now, a lot of agents try delegation at some point, and many feel like walking away simply when it didn't work. Now, this is not because delegation is a bad idea. Again, we just talked about how top agents are doing it, but it's because of how it's introduced. Most of the time, support gets added in too late. It shows up when the transaction is already busy, behind, or stressful. And at that point, instead of creating relief, that's going to feel like a lot more work trying to bring somebody up to speed. Another common issue is lack of ownership. Excuse me. When it's not obvious who owns these timelines or follow-ups or compliance checks, things are going to start falling back on the agent, just with more people involved. Delegation also fails when it adds complexity. If it means another system to log into, another inbox to monitor, another workflow to manage, agents end up feeling like they're being babysat instead of getting that leverage. Again, we're independent contributors. We run our business. So if we feel like we have to go around making sure that everything stays on track, that's adding to the stress. And again, when that happens, stress doesn't just go away, it just shifts. So agents are going to still feel responsible. Clients are still going to feel the uncertainty, and the value of that delegation is going to get lost. So delegation really only works when it's structured, proactive, and built into the way that you are already working. All right, so when we talk about transaction support, right away, we're not going to be talking about just one task or phase. Now, SkyTC is going to support your transactions from the very first document all the way to the final signature. So you can really think of us as your transaction quarterback. We're calling the plays, coordinating every moving part, and making sure that nothing is slipping through the cracks while our deals are in motion. Before you're even live with a listing, documents are being prepared. The moment a contract is signed, the paperwork flow is already moving. You're not waiting to find out if you have time in between calls or time in between showings. You've got your right hand. So everything here lives inside of SkySlope. Documents are uploaded in real time. Milestones are tracked where you're already working. Now, there's never a question of did that get done, simply because it's all going to be visible. We also act as the central communications hub. Timelines are owned, introductions go out, and everyone involved knows what's happening and when, even without you needing to chase everyone down with updates. So you're never in the dark. There's a structured update cadence, so you're always in the know where every deal stands without needing to micromanage. And finally, quality assurance. So we're catching these missing signatures that are overlooked. We're taking a peek at these documents to make sure that they're complete, and these compliance issues are caught early before they turn into any last-minute stress or potentially deal-killing problems. So to wrap that all up here, again, this isn't about just saving you time, but it's about protecting your reputation, delivering a smoother closing experience, and giving you the freedom to focus on selling. Now, right away, one of the biggest questions agents have is whether this will actually work for the way they run their business. And that's exactly why everything is going to be starting with an onboarding call. Right away, this is not a generic setup or a one-size-fits-all process. The onboarding call is a working session where we're walking you through how you operate. You're showing us your workflows, your brokerage requirements, communication preferences, and you fill us in on where your transactions are typically slowing down. That allows us to really align on expectations up front. So when your first file comes in, there's no confusion, no retraining, there's no disruption to your process. So our transaction coordinators, they're trained to work inside of SkySlope within your brokerage standards. So support feels like a natural extension of your business rather than adding another layer that you then have to manage. And the goal is simple. Once onboarding is complete, transactions run smoothly in the background while you stay focused, of course, on clients and growth. Now, as we start to wrap up here, again, I'll leave you with this 2026 rewards agents with systems, not just stamina. You ran yourself last year, 2025, again, was all about that hustle. So if your transactions are starting to feel heavier every year, that's not a motivation issue. You've got that drive, but it's a structure issue. The goal isn't just about closing. It's the closings feel calm, controlled, and repeatable. So this is going to allow us, again, to scale our growth, focus on our clients, and build our business. So if you are ready to remove that friction, protect your time, run your transactions differently this year, we went ahead, created a QR code where you can learn more about SkyTC and jump into next steps. So thank you guys so much for letting me talk your ear off here today. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Here's to carrying less in 2026. And if you use that coupon down at the bottom, EXP50, you can get 50% off your first file. So we're going to go ahead, wrap up our demo. I want to leave my QR code up at the top. Pricing is going to be different per region that you serve. So we won't speak to specific pricing, but we can definitely provide more information. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop those in the comments section. We'll be able to address those as we move right on through.
Thank you so much. We are going to answer some questions. The first one we have is just cost. And again, that's going to depend on the state. So once you click on that link, we'll get you scheduled with our onboarding team, and they will discuss all those fees with you guys. Where can we find pricing for our region is another one, and another cost question.
And Tina actually pinned that link for you as well. So if you do scan the QR code, we can get you that information that way, no problem. Or Tina went ahead and posted that link. So if you prefer to click on the link that way and fill out, we can provide that information too. So no problem.
Here's one. Does the TC have the file added to Real Comp so that the listing can show on the MLS? So we are actually not licensed in MLS, so we cannot upload anything for MLS. That's usually what the agents will take care of, but we can like grab the MLS printout and upload that to your SkySlope for you guys. Please give us a window of low and high pricing. Again, it really varies on states. And then also if it's if you're double ending, if it's a lease, if it's new construction or vacant land. So once you scan that QR code, they'll be able to break that all down for you guys.
Awesome. And I see a few people were asking possibly about that recording. So if you joined us a little bit late, as a reminder, we will have that recording available for you. We're going to throw it on StreamYard or YouTube, so you'll be able to have a couple of different ways to grab a copy of it. We're also going to throw it up on SkySlope support too. So if you do jump onto support.skyslope.com, you'll be able to grab a copy of it.
We'll give it a few more minutes for any questions that you guys have.
I think the Wi-Fi at the office went down.
Oh, no.
Sorry about that, guys. You pull that QR code. One still needs it.
Okay, here's a couple. They do contract to close, and agent handles everything else like the MLS and photos. Yeah, so the MLS and photos, the agent will take care of. We're in between. We will start with the listing, upload documents, take care of signatures, intros, all that good stuff. Another one is, will the TC be available to text and communicate with clients or be included within a three-way text of me, my client, and myself? Yes, of course. And once you get paired with the TC, they will actually go in depth more of what your preferences are on communication. And we can definitely text, email, call as well.
Great questions, guys. We'll hang out for a few more minutes and see if anything else trickles in. But the best way to learn more, especially again, about specific pricing, the type of properties that you're working, the region you're located, you can click on that link, provide a few more details. We'll be able to send you over.
Will it always be the same TC? Yes. Once you get paired with a TC, that's your transaction coordinator for life, unless you want otherwise. But we really try to make it seamless for you guys and build that relationship, so that way all your transactions go really smoothly. They already know your process and are very comfortable with the way you work. So you will have the same TC. Yes. What hours, days will the TCs be available? TCs are available Monday through Friday, and it's usually 7 to 4 or 8 to 5, and we are in all different time zones. So it will kind of depend on what state you're in, who we pair you with for that time zone.
Awesome, everyone. Well, great questions. Nothing else that pops in. We can definitely wrap up today's session, start processing that recording so we can provide that out to you guys. And then, of course, you always have SkySlope support as well. If you have any questions after the fact, support.skyslope.com. Come right on over. You can chat with us. They can direct you to.
One of the questions is, are TCs assigned by state so that we can develop relationships? And yes, our TCs are well versed in many states, and if you're in a certain state, we will definitely pair you with someone that's very familiar with that state, so that way, there's no learning curve. They know the ins and outs of that state. And then also, are they familiar with .loop? Yes, we are very familiar with .loop as well. And with that preference call is when we kind of get to know what you use, what platforms you use, so we can help you. Send me the recording, please. Yeah, so there's a link up a little bit on this chat Tina provided where you can watch this recording. And if you guys don't have any more questions, you're free to go, and we'll go ahead and wrap this webinar up. Thank you guys again for joining. We will talk to you soon, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, thanks, guys.